again, at any level, anybody with mourning, get out of your head, get out of your house, walk dogs. If you have an elderly neighbor that has a dog, say, hey, can I take your dog for a walk? Just to get out, to talk to people. I was crying, and Cooper was young and he was very anxious. So I was like, fine, let's go for a walk. I walked straight down to the lake. There's a nautical club with a restaurant, and it was kind of raining. And I said, can I come in just to have coffee? So I sat, it was like a terrace, and I looked horrible. Like, I didn't want to talk to anybody, but there was a table of women laughing and having a good time. And one of them came over to see the dog. And I'm like, oh my, how embarrassing. And I said, what are you guys celebrating? And they said, oh, our book won #1 in 3 countries, and we're at the book fair in Guadalajara. And I said, what is it about? And she said, oh, it's a compilation of stories about women who overcame horrible things. And I said, oh, I'm in the process of overcoming. And I told her what I was doing with these women, that was how I said, I'm still obviously not well, but I'm working on it. And we talked, and she said, I want you to talk to our publisher. I said, why? I'm not a writer. And this is before AI. This is like 5 years ago. So, I couldn't even get help with that. But long story, talked to the publisher. She said, we want you in it. I was in the book the next year. It won again. And it was in Spanish. Then it was in English. We were invited to Austin to speak. I met these newscasters that, has like near Univision, from like that. And my father used to send me clips about these shows, like if it was 60 Minutes or something equivalent.
Yeah.
And those were the people giving me an award. So going up there, and I told Adriana, one of them, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not being like a fangirl right now. Yes, you're fabulous. If it was like Barbara Walters, I said, but I'm just dying right now because I wrote this about my father. He adored you, and you're giving me an award. And she told me, she said, well, we became friends, and I actually spent a lot of time. She goes, don't become my friend. And I was like, okay, awkward. And she said, I have cancer. I have, what is it? The one that's uncurable with women get, what is it? Cervical, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like confused with Spanish and English now. And she said, I have like 9 months tops to live. And she looked beautiful. And she goes, but I'm going to keep working till the end because it's what I love. And I said, well, okay, but I can still be your friend. We became friends, and I saw her. I flew out, and she was in another city in Mexico, and I saw her up until like the day before she died. And we had a beautiful friendship. But, talk about get up off your couch. I look like hell. I was crying. That's why I adore these dogs. And when I overly indulge them and treat them so well, they are my saviors, like my best friends, my therapist, because think about it. If I wouldn't have gotten up, I wouldn't have gone to that restaurant, wouldn't have met them, wouldn't have been in the book, wouldn't have had like a world tour. I spoke in Mexico City because I said yes. And also because I said, yeah. And I didn't lie. I said, I'm not a writer. And they're like, they'll help you. We just want to get your story down. And so, and like with you, do a podcast. Okay, sure. If I can help one person, I think people just need to get up and do something for others. And